And here we go. Welcome to episode 6 of the podcast. I don't even know what day it is, but that's fine. It's still episode 6. Today we
It's
were here with. Go ahead.
no, it's Friday, November 21st, guys.
Well, thank you. I never know what day it is anymore. But we're here with Aaron Lucero. He's a guest of Sal. I want to welcome him to the episode today. For anybody that's new to the channel or have been watching the channel, we appreciate if you would like and subscribe, help us grow the channel a little bit. So without further ado, Sal, I'm gonna turn it over to you to introduce your guest, buddy, who's also I'm gonna say he's from Anaheim, California. That is something I got on my notes here. It's amazing how many people that you keep having on from California. Even Matt, my buddy who's going to be on tomorrow, he's also from California. It's kind of changing my whole philosophy on California, just having nothing but weirdos there. So yeah.
No, so
That's because the good ones got out.
exactly. We're what we call a California plug-in out here. We defected at some time ago. But hey, everyone. Again, I'm Sal Gonzalez. This is my good friend and esteemed colleague here in town. His name is Aaron Lucero. Again, just like Ryan said, he's from Anaheim, California.
Don't hold it against me.
He is a former labor automobile specialist, custom hot rod builder, former lineman, and the list goes on from there, building up to his empire as an entrepreneur here in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. And it seems like he's just expanding and just kind of hit a home run recently. But without further ado, I just want to say welcome here, welcome to the channel, and hopefully everybody else gets to know what a great person you are.
Thanks, brother. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Hey, welcome, dude.
Yeah, so Aaron, give us a breakdown of, we already talked about Anaheim, but how did it all start? You know, where were you born and where were you raised?
So I was born in Anaheim. It's super busy over there. You know, big change from where we're at now. Rat race always. It's hard to get ahead over there. You know.
Absolutely.
I kind of learned like you can grind and grind and grind over there, and it just seems like it doesn't mean a lot. You know. Grew up kind of a tougher upbringing, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
But it's made me who I am. So
Yeah. Are you Hispanic with the last name Lucero?
yeah, but I mean the last name's actually Apache.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
My bad.
Wow. Okay.
yeah.
That's pretty
Do you
badass.
speak Spanish?
My poor wife. No, so actually my first language was Spanish. I grew up with my babysitter pretty much, and all she spoke was Spanish. I didn't really have a choice, you know.
Picked up the native.
So my
Better
first
question
language
is,
was
do you
Spanish.
speak Apache?
I don't. I just got the attitude of it.
There you go. So don't
awesome.
fuck with Aaron, guys. Nobody's fucking with Aaron. That's awesome. So grew up in Anaheim, Hispanic heritage, obviously. How much family did you have out in California?
I wouldn't say I have a whole lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not very close to
Okay.
any of my family. You know, my sister's like, and even when on my upbringing, she didn't really live with us. I had my brother that lived with us, but I didn't really talk to much of my family.
Okay.
It's kind of a weird situation, weird dynamic with everyone. You know, now the brothers and sisters, we've definitely gotten a lot closer, but
Yeah.
I've always been kind of in my own little world. You
That's
know,
right.
I've ran my own thing, and I move fast. So.
Okay. So there's 3 of you then?
So I got 2 sisters and 2 brothers.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
And they've actually transferred out here, both brothers.
Is that right?
Yep.
Where to Havasu or
Yep, in Havasu
Oh,
now.
that's
Yep,
fantastic. Yeah, I haven't heard of that.
So
yet.
how did you two meet?
That's a funny one.
Oh man, that is a fucking wild story, Ryan.
I noticed that was left out of the question, so I was like, let me.
So I'll let him tell it, but then I'll fill in the gaps for my side of the story.
Okay, so mind you, I've been driving since I was 15, 16, you know, no license, just getting after it, right? All these years, no problems. I'm here in Havasu. I was living here. I was working for an AC company at the time, and I had a big lifted
Huge fucking truck, the size of fucking Pluto.
long bed crew cab, lifted on 40s, twin turbo.
Yeah, twin turbo
Built
diesel,
like
like
crazy.
just the biggest fucking.
I put it in 4-wheel drive and do burnouts down McCulloch. You know, so one day I'm driving down the road. I had an AC in the back, and I'm going down these side streets, and apparently there was a bunch of cops at a house, which I don't know what I was paying attention to. And then I went through a stop sign. Well, I stopped, and then I went through it, and I rolled coal on a raid that I think they were doing. And then, so then I took off because I caught him in the back. I took off, pulled into my driveway, and went and jumped out of the truck to get into my work van. And here comes Sal right behind me.
So
This
it was
what, 10 years ago?
Yeah,
10
at least.
years ago, yeah.
So it was my prior law enforcement career, my gig there, and let me cancel that real fast. Sorry, guys. The VAs wanted me to check in with them, but this is more important. Anyways, so so we're on scene. I think it was a DV, a domestic violence call, and we're all kind of huddled outside. We had just secured the scene, and my sergeant at the time, we're hanging out. We're just having like an after action review, and then this huge, it was a black truck.
It was black.
Yeah, it was huge. It's black, and he had the biggest fucking AC unit I've ever seen on the back of a truck. It belonged on a flatbed. That's how big this thing was. And at the time, I didn't realize that that's why he was rolling coal, because the thing was so damn heavy. And as far as payload goes, he was probably pushing the truck's limit.
Yeah, it was
if
big.
not,
You had to put it in with a forklift?
yes.
No, a crane.
A crane dropped it onto his truck. So later on in life, I realized like it wasn't his fault, right? But he just fucking throws this huge like,
And it sounded like a jet.
and just fills up the entire street with black soot. And I'm like, all right. And then my sergeant looks at me just the way Aaron's looking at me right now, and he goes, well, aren't you gonna go over there and give him a ticket? And I said, for what? And he's like, excessive smoke. And I was like, man. So like, I get in my cruiser, I haul Buns down to where Aaron's at. I pull in right behind him, and then proceed to give him a citation for excessive smoke on his vehicle. And then he's like, just the nicest can be. Like, just,
I was like, yeah,
it
is what it is.
He's like, it was me. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, it's the unit. And I was just like, all right, whatever, dude. Like, I don't fucking believe you on this. But then I didn't realize how much they actually fucking weighed. Like, they're super heavy. So it just made perfect sense. And after I got my diesel and I started pulling big shit with it, I was like, fuck, I feel like an asshole right now. But that's how we got to know each other. It was like right after that, I think the company that you were working for came over to do the AC unit on this truck. So that was like I think we reconnected like right before COVID.
Yep.
And that's when I got my AC units installed, like on the house and then in this garage. And then he shows up and he's like, he's like, and I was like, oh man.
I think I got a haircut.
He's like, your whole unit's fucked up. Look.
Yeah. And the reason why I got that AC, that mini split that's hanging up on next to that neon, was because like it was so fucking hot in here and nobody was cutting hair during COVID. So like the entire police department looked like crap. Like no guys were getting haircuts, and I was like, "Hey, I know how to barber, so like screw it, let's just give ourselves some haircuts." And I was doing it in here, and he's like, "What's the AC for?" And I was like, "Oh, dude, for the barber shop." And like he's like, "Oh crap, like I need a haircut right now." So before you know it, I just started giving Aaron his haircuts from then on until I finally stopped.
Well, I feel like you had to make good on that ticket.
I felt so bad.
He was like, "This is the cheapest thing I can write you for, though." I was like, "It's all good."
I didn't even get you for rolling the stop sign either.
No. And I did roll the stop sign, so it was warranted. I was like, "I'm not even gonna get mad at you. It's okay."
I felt so bad about that for so long, buddy. Like,
And I thought it was so cool.
No, yeah. So that's basically how I got to know Aaron. And then, what was it? Maybe a few months after that, I was building a little red truck in here at the time. I was building my 64 F100, and I totally had like a bunch of questions, I guess, that weren't being answered by anybody. And then Aaron had come over and seen the truck, and he started talking to me about it, and I started talking to him about what like my issues were, and he's like, "Oh, you just got to do this and got to do that," and like he's a fucking whiz when it comes to like auto mechanics. And then he told me that he used to work for Boyd Coddington, an American Hot Rod, on the TV show for what was it, Speed Pit? No,
It was on Discovery and Speed.
Discovery,
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that show. That's awesome.
yeah. How did you end up on that show?
So I came right after the show, right when it ended. So basically, I was real big in high school. Like the years I did go, I was in auto shop, and I found out that American Hot Rods, their location was right down the street from us. And so I went in there. I looked for a job to sweep floors and stuff, and that's where I started with them. They were like, "What do you know?" I was like, "Nothing," but I got TA Auto Shop, I got Advanced Auto Shop, and I got Basic Auto Shop, and that's basically my school right now. And so I started working there after school. So I'd go to school, have an early day, then go there and work, and we'd work till midnight. You know, those are crazy hours working at a shop like that.
Yeah, what was that like that experience
Oh,
of working with like one of the greatest like car builders?
That really was a big thing that shaped how I do my day to day now.
Yeah.
Because when you're working around that quality of guys and that skill level, you have to think, you know, and they're all old school, you know, and I was 14, 15, 16 coming up with them, you know.
Yeah.
So it was a weird dynamic, but if you were open minded, because a lot of people wouldn't make it through that, because I mean, it's like military, you know, you're made for it or you're not, and a hot rod shop is kind of the same way. Like guys come at you with jokes, but they're very serious, you know.
Yeah.
But one key thing that Dwayne Myers he taught me, he said, if I was nice to you, you wouldn't remember anything I say.
Yeah.
And that's
fair.
that's been implemented in me like crazy. So I always say I keep that in the back of my head. You know?
Yeah. You were telling me that guy's actually a really cool dude. Like he comes off like abrasive on the TV show.
So we'll get into it later, but he gave me an opportunity to, when I left, I called him. My parents made me move, and I called him, and I was like, "Hey, man, like, it's just not working for me out here. I need to come back home. What's the chance I could get my job back?" And this was 2 months later. And he called the guy in the office, fired him, and said, "Hey, come back." I was like, "Okay." So, super loyal, you know. Like the guy's good. He's taught me so
awesome.
much, like
Yeah.
day to day, you know.
That's awesome.
So before we move on, like one of the things I did want to like, I think it's amazing you started your story with that segment of your story is you went in there looking for a job where you could just sweep floors, and I think that's important. I don't think in today's society in this generation we have people that are fucking willing to do that. Like start at the very fucking bottom and work and earn a position. You know what I mean?
I deal with it every day hiring people. You know, you get these young kids that they come in, you teach them something real quick, they think they know, and then next thing you know, they think they're the most valuable thing in the world. You know, and it's like you don't learn a whole trade in 6 months. You know, it's impossible. You know,
That's exactly right. Yeah. I was kind of like you. My parents didn't kick me out, but I was a bit of an outcast because I was terrible in school, like absolutely terrible. And it wasn't for the fact that I wasn't smart. I could not keep attention. Like, and I don't think I had ADD or ADHD or anything like that.
Yeah, you do.
Maybe,
definitely.
maybe I do.
Have you seen this garage?
But at the time, like. I wasn't clicking for me, and mechanics. My dad was like, "Well, you know, looks like you're going into the family business, you know." So I started off in a hot rod shop, building car engines. It was a speed shop in Covina, California, and it was called R&R Automotive Engineering. And right off the bat, I was like, "So when do I get into like building engines?" And they're like, "Hold your horses."
Yeah.
And then they're like, "See these valve stems?" And I said, "Yeah." And they're like, "All right, you're gonna bead blast these valve stems, and then you're gonna put them on this valve stem machine and check to see if they're straight. And if they're straight, well, then you set them aside, and then we're gonna cut them. We're gonna cut the new angles and make sure they're all seen."
Yep.
So like I really had to start at the very bottom of just like degreasing these things and then putting them into the burner and putting them into like the bead machine and just like starting at the very bottom. Like I was like, man, I'm not fucking learning anything, but I learned the value of checking everything before moving forward.
It's like the Mr. Miyagi thing, you know, like you got to learn all the steps.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily how to do something. It's just a mindset.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I mean, to the point where they were like, all right, now this is a flux magnet. And you're like, okay, what I'm going to do is like put it over the head and check to see if there's any cracks inside the valves. And you're like, man. But and I'd be sitting there just doing this and just being like, man, this is mindless fucking work. But you know what? Nowadays it's like I spot the smallest things.
Yep.
Like I'm able
It's
to
attention to detail, you know,
dude.
Yep.
And like to the point where like I rip apart a block now and I'm like, like, oh shit, like, yeah, we have a cracked head, watch this, like, just put the magnet over it, pour a little dust on it, and you're like, hey,
Find it. Yep.
here we go. So like I too learned a lot of valuable things, and I think, Ryan, that a lot of people just they just want to be at the top right at the beginning, and it's like you said, like that's that Mr. Miyagi effect. Like you want to show them like why it's important to do these small things, these small tasks, because they're going to mean so much later.
Definitely.
When the juices are flowing and the beat is like really, really intense, and you're missing little things, it's going to fall apart on you at the very end. Like, so it's like, if you don't,
I think it's funny that he brought up Mr. Miyagi because you've sent me like 14 Mr. Miyagi AI videos today.
oh dude, those AI videos, man, have you seen them? They're fucking good. He's like, fucking Daniel-san. And nothing against Asians, but that shit is fucking funny, dude. Yeah. I love that shit. So, going back a little bit more, so did you graduate high school or?
No, I dropped out my junior year. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then where did you move to? Because you said ended up moving back. Where did you end up moving to after you dropped out?
So I went. So basically, it's condensed version. So I found out I had one day I found out I had a tumor in my skull.
Oh shit.
I was kind of feeling headaches for a while, you know. Told my parents for about a month, like, hey, I got a headache. Like my left eye is kind of twitching, doing some weird stuff.
Yeah.
And they weren't the best of people, you know. And so it was kind of got a little weird. And if your kid's coming to you saying he can't see out of his left eye for a month, you know, you probably want to do something about it.
Yeah.
And then one day I was just like, it's bad. Like I got a tumor, you know. And you just kind of know. It's the weirdest thing, you know. And so I went to the hospital that night. They transferred me to Chalk and cut me open the next day. You know, they were
Damn.
like, yeah.
You were how old?
I was 15.
Damn.
15.
Okay.
Yep. And so they were like, yeah, no, you almost croaked here. Like you were real close, you know? And so it ended up being some super rare disease, like an autoimmune disease.
Yeah.
They didn't really know how to treat it. Like they had Switzerland doctors flying in. I woke up and there was just a room full of doctors.
That's at Children's Hospital of Orange County, right?
Yep.
And they specialize in...
They specialize in kids, children, you know?
Yeah, cancer with children.
And so they...
which they're like renowned.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
They're some of the best.
Top stuff, yeah. And so that was an eye opener, you know, like after something like that, it kind of makes you think a little different, you know?
Sure.
And so that went on for about a month, you know. I had the surgery, had staples and stuff in my head. And so one day I was hanging out at the time my girlfriend's house, you know, because I had staples in my head. I couldn't go to work, you know, I couldn't do nothing. So
You have a cool ass car.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, he does. I've had to fade that thing up many times.
And so I was at my girlfriend's house at the time one day, and she brought me home, and I was walking in, and my dad comes out from down the road, and he goes, "Where are you at? Where were you going? Where are you at?" And I was like, "Oh, I was at my girlfriend's house, you know." And he comes and he puts me up against the wall, puts me in a room, and says, "Why weren't you working?" And she talks about this stuff. She can contest to it. She's seen it, you know. And and that's a weird thing when a dad comes at you when you got staples in your head.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Still, they're still there, you know.
Yeah.
At the time, and he's like, if you can go over there, you can be working. And so I think that kind of, if Sal can contest, I work a lot. You know, it's always that's been planted in my head from something like that. You know, that's all you know. You work. Yeah. So from there, basically, that went on. The doctors wanted me to do chemo, radiation, all that good stuff, and my parents were like, hey, one day came up and said, we're moving to Maine. I said, what? Why are we going there, you know? So they picked up, we moved to Maine into one of my grandpa's houses, and that lasted for about a month. They told me I should go get a job out there. And mind you, I'm working at a high-end hot rod shop with crazy high-end builders around, learning so much, you know? And then you go to Maine where there's nothing. You got trees, you got snow.
Got it.
Ain't no hot rods in Maine. That's too.
No
everything's
rods,
rusted.
You know, that's California's hot rods. You know, that's all I know. So they tell me I need to get a job in Maine. I'm like, okay, well,
what's there to do out there?
This ain't gonna work. Pizza Hut. That's what they. That was my option. There's Pizza Hut, and I was like, okay. So I just drove cross country. Now 16 years old. I followed their moving truck, and we got there. And I'm like, why can't I go back? You know, I could figure this out. I called a buddy up that was a little bit older than me. He joined the Air Force, and I was like, "Hey, dude, I gotta get out of here," you know. And he knew my situation, you know.
Sure.
He was a good buddy,
Yeah.
and so he bought me a plane ticket. So I got that plane
Oh,
ticket.
that's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
And I was like, "You give me a plane ticket, I can figure the rest out," you know.
Fuck yeah.
I'm 16 years old, so like I got this. So I called up my old boss one night and I said, "Hey, what would you do if I came back? Like, is there a spot for me?"
Yeah.
You know, because he didn't want me to leave.
Sure.
And sure enough, he called the guy in the office and said, "Hey, we're gonna have to let you go." And I'm like, and he's like, "Okay, Aaron, your spot's back." And I was like, "Oh shit."
That's awesome.
So I moved back and did the hot rod thing and was just grinding away there. And that was like, okay, if I made it through all this, I'm good. You know, the rest is easy.
So, but like that hot rod shop gave you the ability to, I mean, at the age of 16, you're already acting like an adult. You know, you're surrounded by alpha males, right?
100%.
These are like grunts of the grunts, you know, like they're cutting metal, welding, slags are falling on them. Then they don't give two craps about anything.
Nope.
Like they're just
No safety glasses, no mask when you're welding, like
smoking a cigarette while they're grinding and shit. Yeah. So that had to
So
happen.
I just want to bring us back for 1 second. Like, are you cancer free now? Like you didn't have the chemo and the radiation. Like I never got any closure on that before we could move on.
He's alive, Brian.
It was weird. So basically, nobody really knew how to treat this disease. Like it wasn't a common thing, you know.
Yeah.
And so they wanted me to get these checkups every 6 months. Well, I didn't get any, you know. Like it was probably 4 years later, I finally got a checkup, and I was good. So I was like, "Hey, it must have worked out.
All right.
It must have worked out."
I just needed that little bit of closure, buddy, or else I wasn't going to be able to concentrate on anything else that we talked about.
He's like, what the fucking cancer?
I got my hair, bud.
I'm sorry. I feel so insensitive now. Thanks a lot, Ryan. I just grazed right over that. Like, yeah, no, big deal. But yeah, amazing resilience on your part. Like, I'm just gonna say it like that right there, because like any one of those things, whether parents kicking you out or parents like just kind of just avoiding, and maybe not just being like the parents they needed to be, like that would already impact so many people, but yet you just continue to flow forward and just say, hey, like I'm gonna make this work. This is damaged, but this can be unbent.
Yeah.
This can be worked, just like a hot rod or something like that.
That's what frustrates me so much nowadays, like seeing people and hearing things, and it's like, you got choices.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what, no matter how bad your life is, like I had $25 in a duffel bag and I've done okay, you know?
I would say
like,
so.
so.
Holy shit.
It's possible, you know?
So you come back to the shop and then you're working there. How long were you ended up working there before you ended up making your next move?
It was a good 2-3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you stay with them?
Yeah, about 3 years. 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Build up a name for yourself.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
For like the hot rod world, right?
Learn some stuff. That basically when I transitioned out here, it kept me going. Like I was building tons of cars and tons of work out here. Yeah. And wiring was kind of my niche thing out here.
Man. So I hit up Aaron and I was like, Aaron, I'm having this issue. I'm turning on my left blinker and everything is going haywire. He's like, check your grounds, dude. He's like, it's probably your body grounds or something. And I was like, man, everybody always says to check the fucking grounds. And sure enough, he's like, oh yeah, it's this. Watch, check this out. And then he just grounds it and it fucking fixes it. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm stupid.
See that? And that was because there's a guy named Jax Motorsports now. But I was always the last one in the shop with Dwayne. And so guys would come in and they'd be the last guy there and I'd be watching. I watched everything they did and I learned, you know, and it all planted in me. And this guy's wiring $1 million off-road cars and crazy stuff now. But I learned everything through him, you know? So if you even take a little bit from these high-level guys and you pay attention and you learn, that little bit is a lot, you know, from a high-level guy.
For sure.
And so I basically took that and kind of ran with the stuff I learned from him. So,
and then
I have no patience for wiring and stuff. Like even your modern cars now, you're talking every modern car has probably 200 pounds of just wires in there.
Yep.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's insane. And to trace one of those and all of that, you know, it takes patience for sure.
Yeah, dude. I'll build, you know me, I'll build a hot rod, I'll build a truck or whatever, and I'll rewire it. But like, I think it's one of those things where it's like, if you know the car you built, then it's easy to figure everything out. But like when you don't have hands on and you're just sitting there and being like where the hell does this wire go? Like, oh no,
especially when you're building something custom.
yeah,
You can't just take it to someone.
No.
You know, you don't. You're not gonna know what they did or what's back there. You know,
that's absolutely true.
That's like going to AutoZone and trying to order a part. you know, you know.
Is it 2L or 4x? I'm like, I need a brake light, man. No, man. So wiring, was that something that you were just good at there, or like did you excel in that? And then did that help lead to where you're at?
The thing about it is I always paid attention to what other people couldn't do.
Right.
And I've done that with everything, you know. So I knew that I can take that and I can make money with that.
Sure.
You know, because a lot of people can do it. It was an easy market to tap into.
Yeah.
Takes a little more thinking, but there's money to be made in it, you know?
Yeah.
So when I came down here and started working on cars, that was the gateway. It was like everybody talks about the pain in the ass wiring or this or messed up and we can't get anyone to do this.
Yeah.
Well, I found the niche of, I can do the wiring. I can do this. I can do that, you know? And that's what I kind of capitalized on.
That's awesome. Oh, that's fantastic.
So are you like a full-blown electrician too?
I mean, I have a residential AC license, and we do electrical. Like, I mean, I just wired my new house all up and changed all that stuff, so I can do any kind of wiring. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Aaron just finished buying his second house, but it's his new house that he just moved into, and immediately started just renovating the shit out of it. Like, there was probably nothing wrong with the house, but he's like, nah, we're gonna just demolish it from the inside out.
Well, it was a.
You make that sound like it's something you wouldn't do.
Yeah, right.
Oh, dude, I won't touch stucco. I told Aaron this a long time ago. Like, I won't touch drywall or stucco. I'm just afraid. I'm afraid of it.
Yeah, the wife, she was like, "This is the house. Like, it'll work. We like this house. We needed an RV garage for the boat.
Yeah,
that's what started it. And she's like, "This is the house." But I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like this. Easy. We got the keys. Maybe 30 minutes after that, we ripped all that stuff down.
Like, he started posting it up on social media. I was like, damn, bro, you don't waste a second of time.
It's a brand new house.
Made me feel like shit because I've been here 10 years and I still haven't fucking redone everything I want to do.
It only takes 2 weeks.
Yeah, right.
There's still a light bulb burn out in Sal's bathroom.
I know, man. The alarms are still beeping. No. So when you got here, how long after did you go into HVAC? Like, was that like right away, or did you spend a few years?
I did a few different things. So I started building hot rods out here pretty consistent.
Yeah.
I'd go to people's houses and work on them, and then from there we ended up having a baby, and so I was like, okay. Cars are very time consuming, you know. There's no 9 to 5 in the hot rod world. You're working day and night, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so we started that, and then the ex ended up like doing her own thing, and she went and played around. We ended up getting a divorce. That turned into a rabbit hole, and I was like, I can't raise a baby on my own. I didn't have family out here at the time. I didn't know anyone, you know. So it's hard to raise a baby and build hot rods, you know. And I had him in the garage while I'm grinding and welding, and it made him who he was, you know.
Oh man, this kid's awesome too.
He was around it all, you know. So, but you can only do that for so many hours a day, you know. Mm-hmm. So I ended up working for a RV place, and my big thing there was I was getting these totaled RVs. And I would rebuild the sides of them, rebuild the frames, all that kind of stuff. So they were bringing trailers in from everywhere, and I just reskinned the whole trailer, or it would hit a drive-through sign, and I would rebuild the whole side of it. And that's kind of, I went into that, and then I did cars kind of on the side more or less.
Yeah, people would just drop hot rods at your house once they figured out that you used to work for Boyd.
Yeah, I'd show up to my house, and there'd be like a 32 Roadster in my driveway. And I'd be like, dude, I told you I'm not doing cars anymore. Like, our 69 El Camino was one customer. He's like, yeah, but no one else is touching it. Like, the car's there, the keys are there. And I'm like, oh, man. So that was fun times, though. I mean.
I'll tell you what, man, if the works, I mean, if you needed to do some side work and get some extra money.
Yeah, it was a great little hustle for sure. And it worked out, you know.
That's good.
But that led into an HVAC guy. I was doing a car for him, a few cars.
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, you work crazy hours. Like, because I would work my day job and then I would go work there at night in his garage building these cars. And super good guy. And he just kept saying, "Why come work for me? Come work for me.
Yeah.
Come work for me." And then the place I was working for, the RV place, they started messing my pay around. And because they put us over to flag rate where basically you got paid off by doing a job, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was real quick at doing the jobs. So I was getting paid crazy hours on it, and they didn't like that.
Yeah.
So they tried to restructure everything, and I'm like, this is not cool. So I called him up. I was like, "Hey, is that job offer still there?" And he said, "Yes, sir." And he came down and he picked me up and he said, "Let's go." And I was like, "Okay." So then that turned into working, doing HVAC, right? Never done it before. I mean, I put air conditioning in cars, like, couldn't be that hard, you know? I'm building systems from nothing in hot rods, so I can figure this out. And I worked for him. So he was like, I'm going to Mexico in a week. So you can come on board, work for me for a week, and then be off until I get back, or you could try to work. I was like, "So you want to try to work while you're gone?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll have my phone. You can call me with questions." Like, okay, we can make this work. Like, why not? You know, mind you, I
The house is on fire. The house is on fire.
And when you're not in air conditioning, you don't look for air conditioning stuff. You're not walking around. You don't know where the AC is. You don't know nothing about it. You know,
Yeah.
and so I ran with him for a week. The next week he left, and I could call him, you know, and that was one of our best weeks he's ever had. Is that week that I worked alone. And so he came back and he was like, "What'd you do?" And I was like, "I don't know. I just did what I did. You know, I figured it out like I've always done."
Yeah.
And so, because he told me when I started with him, he's like, you're gonna eat top ramen for a little bit till you learn the trade, and then we'll pay you real good." I was like, "Okay." So he came back, and fortunately, when he came back, he gave me a raise.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, there's money to be made here," you know. And I was thinking I'm changing careers, completely changing into a whole different career. Like, this is gonna be a struggle for a while. And he came back. He's seen my potential, and he honored it, you know, and he took care of me for it. So that was pretty cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. So how like I always see HVAC guys, they'll come out, and like I always thought like HVAC would be a great like business to get into, and I saw a lot of military retirees jump into HVAC because there is money to be made there. One of my biggest concern is like I don't like cats, so I don't want to end up going to some lady's house who just has cats everywhere, and I am definitely allergic to cats. The same way I was as a police officer though. Like if we were doing a search warrant and I had to go in a house, like there were times that like once we entered the house and the house was secure, I'd be like, "I'll be outside. You guys tell me what you
I'll
find."
fall back.
Can you bring your domestic outside, please? Because I can't be inside.
But I bet you see a lot of stuff in HVAC and just being in that business.
I think the one that sticks in my head, I went to a hoarder's house.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oof.
I went to a hoarder's house out here, and I was like, "Oh no."
Bad, huh?
So bad. You couldn't even walk through. They're like, just come through this way. And I'm looking like, through what? Can I go around?
tunnel
No,
through?
you can't get through that gate.
Go around the top ramen stacks.
Yeah, you can't get through that
Once you
gate.
get to the Capri Suns, you've gone too far.
It's crazy to see how different people live, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
It's-
I mean, you guys probably seen that going through different houses.
Yeah, it's scary though. But like
Yeah.
we're in that mindset of like we're constantly going through these things, you know, like we're expecting the worst. So
Yeah.
we're kind of like,
You're ready for it. I'm
Yeah.
there just to fix an air conditioner.
yeah, and then all of a sudden you just walk into, you know, it's like you going down the rabbit hole in Alice in Wonderland. You're like, what the fuck is all this?
Yes.
Holy shit. So you did a couple years working for somebody.
Yep.
And then how did that, so what did that kick off? Like, how did you go from that to then owning your own business? Was there anything in between that you did?
So basically, I did that for a while, and then I'm never very good at staying like at a certain level. I always want to move up.
Sure.
Like, what's the next thing, you know? And I seen how I wanted to build a business and structure it, and it wasn't going anywhere. We were just kind of doing the same thing over and over.
Sure.
And it wasn't the way I wanted to do it, you know?
Right.
And so I was like, this ain't gonna work, you know? So I was like, okay, I need to figure out another way to make money.
Sure.
And this town is kind of tricky. Unless you own something, you're not going to make money. But I had a few friends and that were customers, and they did line work.
Yeah.
And I was like, line work makes money.
Oh yeah, it does.
It makes really good money.
Big
you
money.
know?
Yeah.
And so that led into, so I had a customer and I called him up. I was like, hey, how do you get into doing line work? Like, what's it take? You know, mind you, I don't have a high school diploma.
Same.
So that kind of stops you for a lot of things, you know, because I was like line school. That's the 101, you know, well, you can't get in without a diploma. And so that opened a door. So he's like, honestly, if you got a CDL, there's crews that are out of Texas that will pick you up. So, okay, I could figure that out. Then I got on Instagram and I found a line crew that was real big on social media. And I messaged him and I was like, hey, what's it going to take for me to get a spot on your crew? And he's like, you have a CDL? I was like, no. And he was like, get a CDL and then we'll touch base.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So I called up a school in California.
I remember that. Yeah.
A week later, I was like, hey, I'm rolling out to California. I'm going to go get my CDL, and then we'll see what happens. So I called him up a month later. I went down there for a month, and this was all within a week, just kind of a whim thing. Like, okay, I'll get my CDL. And I call him up, and he goes, I said, hey, I got my CDL. You got a spot for me? And he's like, he called me. He was like, you what? I was like, I got my CDL. You told me to get my CDL. I got my CDL, and I'm ready to go.
In a week?
He's like, okay.
That's
okay.
fucking badass.
And so he's like, can you be in Oklahoma in 4 days or something like that? It was something stupid. So, yeah, no problem. Well, I'm in Arizona. Okay?
I remember that. Yeah.
I'm in Arizona. And so I got my CDL, but I didn't get the actual license because I had to take the papers back down to California because it was COVID time, you know?
Yeah.
So I couldn't didn't just get one. So I was like, shit, I just told him I have my license. I got my CDL. This is a problem. So I had to be there in 3 days. So I jumped in the car the very next day and I went down to California, sat in the DMV parking lot, walked in there, got my paper I needed. And I was like, fortunately, I got it all, you know?
In Needles?
No, California. Like I went down to like Rancho Cucamonga because it was a commercial. You have to go to the commercial one.
So it's either Rancho Cucamonga or Hemet or something like that.
Yeah, down in that area. So I was like, shit. Okay, so I drive down there. I get it. So once I get it, I walk out. I go gas my car up, and then I head to Andrews, Texas, because I had to do the onboarding, and I had to get this done quick. You know, they needed me in Oklahoma in 3 days. So I show up in Andrews, Texas, like the very next day, and then they're like, what do you mean you're here? I'm like, I drove here. Like, I'm here. Okay, so I go to the office, I do all my drug tests, all that stuff, and they're like, okay, you got to be in Oklahoma tomorrow.
Jesus.
Yeah, no problem. So I jump in the car and I leave. I'm 30-something hours straight, you know, just down to California, up to Andrews, back to Oklahoma, and then I pull up and they're like, dude, how are you here? I'm like, you told me what I had to do. I did it, and here I am.
Yeah.
And so then I jump on this crew, and it was, dude, that was like the best time of my life. Learning so much from those guys. Like the brotherhood is crazy.
And like, just for the audience watching this, how old were you at the time?
Well, for this, This
is back in COVID, so 2018.
Yeah.
You're like, what, 25?
I think I was around that. Yeah.
Like 20.
Yeah,
Ryan,
time has flown. Yeah.
Yeah, 25-year-old, just crazy ass life.
I think I was maybe like 26, 27.
Are you sure?
No,
you're
I was
30
because
now,
I
right?
started my company 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So, and I was here for years. Yeah, you're right. 25.
Fucking 25 years old, bro.
Wow, time flies.
At 25, I couldn't have done what Aaron's already accomplished.
No, dude, you have an amazing amount of hustle to you, and I have mad respect for that. Like you're 30 years old. I'm 46, and I admire you, bro. That's awesome.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
No.
So what's in Texas that wasn't out here, or should I say for like the line work that they did over there?
So the thing about Texas is those guys are cowboys.
Hell yeah.
And I still hang out with them, still talk to them. Like they just came down for Desert Storm, one of my the old foreman.
Yeah.
And so super good buddies. Like we still talk, and those guys are wild.
Yeah.
Those guys. So like California, you get on a line crew and that stuff. Like there's a lot of rules. Like you follow this, you follow that, and then maybe like after a few years, you can get them a bucket and do this and do that.
Yeah.
So those guys, it's in their blood. It's family. They do it, you know. So they just go for it.
Just get her done.
There's no you work too many hours. There's no take a break after X amount of time.
Yeah.
It's in their blood. That's what they do, you know. And so I knew that crew I could move up the quickest without doing all the schooling and all the stuff that you probably should do.
Yeah.
You know? and, so, and I was like, what's the quickest way to move up and make money?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so that's what I went.
Ryan, little side quest. Aaron calls me up one day and I'm like, hey, dude, how's it going? And he's like, oh, dude, it's fucking bitching out here, man. He's like, bro, nobody knows how to fix trucks out here. So I'm the mechanic now. Like, I'm fixing these rigs. They're like, hey, this truck's gone down, or we have to, because you were storm chasing at the time.
So we had a basic, it was called a reconduct job. So we'd go to the middle of nowhere, and that was our job. We had to replace these lines in the middle of nowhere, you know? And, but then we would go on storm. So basically it's like standby. So if there was a storm on the East Coast, they tell you like, get ready, you know? So we'd get all our trucks ready, and then they say green light. So then you jump in the trucks, and it doesn't matter if it's, you worked all day, now it's midnight, now you got to go. It's whenever you got that green light, you're on the road.
Damn, that sounds fun.
It was
hang on. So were you storm chasing to like actually chase the storms and tornadoes, or are you like going after because you know that there's going to be damage?
So we would normally hit. So our crew, I don't know how it worked out, but our crew was always like the first one there. So we kind of had the gig to where we were in a Louisiana for Hurricane Ida, and we saw the storm come in. Like it was crazy. You're standing up, you're up in the hotel, and you just see like the lights start going out, and you can feel the storm coming in, and the next thing you know, it's over you. And then you're like, okay, tomorrow we're going to go out, you know? So we would always end up getting there first. And it was super fun, such an adrenaline rush. But I think the reason we got there first was because we drove straight through no matter what. Like, so we'd work all day. We'd work a 10-hour shift. We'd get green light. We'd run to the house, pack our bag of clothes, and then we hit the road. And we'd go to North Carolina. We'd go to Florida. We'd go everywhere. And we'd drive 30, 40 hours straight, nonstop.
That's awesome.
Like my wife
with the whole crew, bro.
The whole crew, and you're
convoy,
running,
like a whole
super
convoy.
cool. Like it was something different, you know. And then
did you ever meet like Jim Cantor or anybody from the Weather Channel?
No.
Aaron Lucero reporting live from
You're all
Louisiana.
blown away, pretending
Hurricane
like
Ida, she's got a real big.
Oh man,
that's awesome.
That was a good time for sure.
That's awesome. So like you would just clean up the aftermath and just get power back up to everybody.
Yep. So we'd go in and we'd cut trees and get lines back up, go into this brush and try to find a power line and raise it up, and it was fun stuff.
Man, so you must have just been like so many different jobs that you were doing all at the same time, never being like the same wherever you went. It was probably just.
It was always something different. Yeah.
That's fucking so
different.
How did it work though? I know, look, we have crews here that work for the city and the county and so on. So were you like a contract crew that just like
exactly? So basically, there's a big crew that oversees like East Coast, right? And they contract companies under them. So then they'll have they'll know something's coming, and then they'll ship a bunch of stuff to a yard, and then they'll contract as many crews as they can get for that predicted storm. And then you get there, and then you stage in an area. So you'll go to a huge parking lot, and all the trucks will sit there. And then they have assessors that go out and they look at what the damage is, and then they'll go through their list of this crew has this stuff and this equipment. They can go out and handle that job. So then it just kind of gets divvied up.
I got you. Yeah,
and it's weird because like the average person, you don't see what happens on that end, you know. And so after going through it and feeling it, it's like, oh, that's wild. But the respect you get on the road and everywhere in these little towns, you know, knowing that your guys are linemen, you know, it's wild.
That's badass, dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I feel like a little bitch, honestly.
I do too. I'm like,
I feel like
I ain't doing nothing.
Dude, that was fun. Like I got a hammock at Walmart because we'd go up to places, right? Yeah. And you think you got like Red Cross or they got you set up. It doesn't work like that. No, that's not a thing, you know? Like you show up and you're like, where am I sleeping? And you just look around, you know? And so I ended up getting a hammock at Walmart, right?
Yeah.
And I'd open my truck door and open my window and put the hammock in one side and shut the door and do it on the other side. And so I'd have a hammock in the front of my truck and I just sit in there. And best sleep ever.
These are like these are big.
Oh yeah, they're big air brake trucks.
Yeah.
That's why you needed the Class A license, right?
Yep.
Dang, man. Like that just.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never knew how all that kind of came together. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is it what is it like government contract?
It's basically a contractor is basically, through the government.
And then were you paid from the moment of call?
Yeah, so you were paid from the moment of call to there, and then it's like time and a half if you're working a storm like that.
Yeah.
So it was really, really good money, you know. But the company that we worked for, they got paid on each truck.
Yeah.
So every truck that was there, every piece of equipment, and then every guy that was there.
Right.
So it was a big deal to get the vehicles there.
Right.
You know, so we would be going convoy and something break on a truck, and they'd be like, "Oh, Aaron." You know, I'm the only one that can fix stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So we had one truck that they had just bought, and the big thing is like, it doesn't matter if the truck is great. If it gets there, it's making money.
Yeah,
You know?
hell yeah.
And so this truck blew 3 tires on the way to North Carolina. Bro, 3 tires, broke a pitman arm. So the truck's just doing this the whole way. Dude, we pulled over in a Pilot gas station, and I welded it all up. And I was like,
because you guys
this'll
had
work.
welders, right?
Yeah, we had everything. We were all set up, but it was like, hey, we need this. Go get this. I could fix this, you know?
Fuck yeah.
And then we'd have radiator hoses blowing, and we'd have to make a radiator hose, you know? It was always something interesting, you know? MacGyver these things to get them there, because once they're there, you can get a real mechanic to do all what it really needs, you know? But it's making money once it's sitting there.
Yeah. Sounds kind of like a deployment, huh, Ryan?
Yeah, I feel like I just want to play with all the equipment on the trucks.
Right?
Ryan, get off that boom. You gotta go, man. You gotta make some money. Let's go. Quit fucking around. I don't know how I'm ever gonna top that. That sounds like an adrenaline rush, and you probably are surrounded by a bunch of good guys, and then like good stories, and then like the food that's out there, right? Like,
Yeah. We'd get people bringing us food.
What was the community like? That's a good point. You just brought that up. People were bringing you food. Like, did the community look at you guys like superheroes?
100%. So like Louisiana, like we got there and there was no like Red Cross or whatever it is. They didn't have any food or nothing for us. So like we luckily like our crew's been doing it forever, you know?
Yeah.
So they knew like you stop at Walmart before and you fill up your tote with top ramen or whatever you can cook out there and make it work and snacks and stuff.
Yeah.
So before we'd get to like the bad area, we'd stop and we'd fill up, you know? But you're working crazy hours. You need some real food, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And the people of Louisiana, well, that was the biggest one. North Carolina and all that was good too. But Louisiana, like, those people were bringing us like jambalaya, like big old plates of it, you know?
Some gumbo.
Some gumbo, yeah. There's a lot of gumbo, a lot of jambalaya, like
Crawdads and stuff.
We were eating good down there, you know. I was almost excited Red Cross wasn't there, you know. And it was.
I don't
like
even know what boudin is, but it's delicious.
Yes.
Like, how awesome is that? Like, if we had a flood out here and then just a hot shot crew came out of nowhere, I would probably want to do the same thing and say, hey man, let's house these guys, let's feed these guys.
Well, yeah. Then there was these ladies there that they were washing our laundry.
Hold on, where's the story going?
I had the same thought. I was like, oh, hold on. Did we just take a turn?
I thought we were allowed to talk about that here.
Well, you're allowed to talk about anything. Just prepare us before we get into OnlyFans. So.
But yeah, they would come pick up our laundry and do our laundry and bring it back.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Because you're out there in a truck working all, tons of hours. Yeah. It's nice to have some clean clothes and socks.
Was there ever any like discrepancies with the guys, or was it just super cohesive and just everybody knew their role?
I think it was like very super cohesive. Every once in a while, you're up for hours on end, you know.
Yeah.
So there would be their scuffles, but it was weird. Like after they got squashed, it was good. Like nothing happened, you know. There's no grudges. You squash it, you do what you got to do.
Eat some jambalaya together,
and then you're back at it, you know.
That's awesome. I wish I could
do
that.
You guys ever make like parking lot campfires or anything?
No, there was some parking lot stuff for sure. The parking lot was always a fun time.
Down at the Piggly Wiggly. Walmart. You guys crashed out a lot of Walmarts and stuff like that.
Walmart was a big thing, but usually we'd be like in a hotel parking lot, you know? Yeah, or just big open parking lots, you know. We just stop right there, and my crew is from Texas, so they could barbecue.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah? Did anybody have a barbecue pit that they brought with them at all?
They'd always bring stuff like that. A big old barbecue, yeah. And my buddy Gordo, dude, the food that they made, I was like, man, I know I gained a ton of weight down there.
Shit, dude.
Dude, I tell you what, next time I see like a group of these trucks in like a hotel or just random parking lot, I'm gonna go hang out with those dudes. That's really
Oh, it's a good time.
Fuck yeah.
Bring some beer and you're on it.
That's badass. I think I'm just going to go down a pilot and hope I get lucky with some good guys. They're from the railroad. They're like, get the fuck away from us. We'll take your beer, sir, but just get the fuck back, please. Oh, shit. Whenever I roll into a fucking pilot, people are just like, oh, shit. Man. Get the cops out of here, man. What are you guys doing?
I think the vehicle gives it away, bud.
A little bit. Yeah. No. So how long did you end up doing that for? Like, what was the stint for?
That was like a good 2 years.
2 years.
2 years. But I mean, mind you, I had a 10-year-old back
That's
here.
right.
Yeah, well, he at the time he
Eli,
was
right?
Yeah, Eli. He was young then. You know, he was 7, I think. And so the tricky part about it was, so all those guys, they lived in Andrews, Texas, right? So they travel back together. Well, I would fly home. So I'd fly to Vegas, and then my girlfriend would pick me up, or I'd Uber or something, and then I would come back to town. So the problem is, if you're on storm, you're ready to go, okay? So I could fly into Vegas. So it was a 2-week on stint and then 1 week off. But if you were on a storm, you'd be gone for however long, and then you could be home for a week, and then you go back. But what would happen is you fly into Vegas, you start coming back, and then they say, hey, we're green light for this. Well, the only way to get there is turn back around, jump on a plane, and fly somewhere.
Yeah.
So those guys they'd drive to Oklahoma, start leaving with the trucks, and I would get to the airport, and I'd be like, okay, well, this flight takes off at this time. It can meet you in Tennessee. Can you pick me up there, or however that would work? And I'd jump in my truck from there and then take off. So you were never home.
That's crazy.
You're always on the road. You're always gone. And so I'd do these FaceTimes with my son and be like, he'd ask me when I'm coming home, and I can't tell him, you know? Yeah. And he was playing soccer at the time, and I just stopped telling him when I was coming home, you know, and I just show up.
Yeah.
And then I remember this one time where I came home, and I went to the grocery store, and I walked in to pick him up, you know, and he turned around and he started crying because he was so happy.
Oh.
And I was like, shit, like, you know, this ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
You can't do this, you know, it's not fair. And so then I started to start thinking, like, okay, like, you can only do this for so long. Like, the money's good, stacked it up, now what, you know? And so that kind of took my turn to the next adventures. So, yeah.
Man,
I feel like a bitch.
Right, dude?
I do.
I feel like you need to write a book about this, bro.
Yeah, it'd be a long book, though.
I'm telling you. I know we're just getting the condensed version, but holy shit, dude.
Yeah, so obviously, like you said your son he's 10 now?
Yeah.
Okay, so like your son, and it sounds like you were a single dad. Is that what I got from that?
Yeah, I was split up with his mom, yeah. So we were doing like 50-50.
Okay.
And then at the time, my now fiance came into the picture, you know? And so that was a huge help because she got along with the ex. And so she would pick him up from school and do that kind of thing and help out. So it was a weird dynamic going on back then, you know? It was so much moving on.
Okay. So if we coin this episode like life lessons with Aaron, like what would you want to relay to your son in the event he gets to see this later on in life? Just
I think we've gone over this a lot. Like, there's a lot of sacrifice, you know? You got to sacrifice things to get places, you know? It's kind of, it's a whole can, you know? There's a lot in there, you know?
I know I put you on the spot.
Yeah. It's hard to break that down, you know? Like, because it's weird. Like when I came back, we went out to a place called the Blue Chair. And we came back, and I sat down with him. It was just me and him. And he was 8 at that time. Mm-hmm. And I was like, hey, dude, like, I'm sorry, you know? Like, I know I haven't been here, yada, yada. And to talk to him, and he's like, I know, Dad. I know why you're doing it. And it's like, shoot. But, like, Sal can contest. If you met him and you knew him, he's very smart for his age, you know? He's super witty.
He's sharp as a tack and bright as a light, dude. Like, super.
And you could tell that he knew I was doing it for a reason. You know, I wasn't just gone, you know?
Yeah.
And so I breaking that down to him, like, I'm doing this for a reason. But then at that point, you can't fail. You gotta make it worth something. You know,
Yeah.
you can't just waste that time for nothing.
Well, I don't think failure is an attitude that you have in your body. Like like just listening to you, like I've already adapted this opinion of you that you have a no fail mentality, and I'm pretty sure that's probably why Sal attracted to, like you and Sal attracted to each other. Not in a weird way, but
You didn't tell him about that, did you?
No. That's for
okay,
that's for
maybe
the X-rated.
maybe.
That's for the X-rated podcast.
It's almost to a fault, though. You know, you can take that to an extreme. You know, I don't like losing.
Yeah, absolutely. Isn't it crazy though that some people just have that mentality that they can say like, "Hey, this job needs to get done, and I don't trust anybody else to do it, so I'm going to go do it." And I don't mean to sound rude or anything, but you'll leave people behind so that you can go and finish that, or guarantee the success for the next step that you're taking in life. And sometimes people have to take that back seat, like whether it's my family or my prior relationships, your child, your ex, even your current wife. Sometimes we put ourselves forward, and it's the mission, right?
Yeah.
To guarantee that success. And it's like a lot of times people are like, man, that's really selfish of you. It's like, look beyond the selfishness of it. Like, please just know I can't fail, because you have a child that you have to provide for. You're trying to provide a better life than what you had. And you see the end goal and you're like, I know I can get there. Like, I know I can get there, and I can see the path.
Yeah.
And it's really rare to find that, Ryan, because
Yeah,
most people are so afraid to make that leap and leave everything else behind, with the uncertainty, you know, but like, you know, the drive that's in you, and you know what your worth ethic is like, and you know what you're capable of. But it's so funny because most people don't see that because they're not inside your head, where it's like, failure is not an option. Like, I'm gonna
find a way.
I'm gonna find a really good sergeant in the military. His name is Thomas Folden. He was a prior drill sergeant, but he was my team sergeant in Korea. And he told me one time, like, he promoted me from PV2 to PFC, and he gave me a tuna can, and he's like. And I said, well, what the fuck is this tuna can for? You know? And he's like,
Where's this going?
Like, no, check this out. And he's like, here's this tuna can. And he said, a survivor, somebody that's going to be successful is going to know how to get in here without any tools. Like, get into the tuna can. Like, get into the tuna can. Like, and it's like, well, fucking, you have to survive. You're going to get into the fucking tuna can. And that's that mentality that you have. And it's like, I'm gonna get into this fucking, like, you're gonna sit there and just fucking grind this thing out, you know? And like, I will. And then I took that away at an earlier age, and I was just like, I did the same thing, dude. I left everything behind to join the military, and then I left the military. I left Ryan behind, crying in the office, and he's like, "Don't go, Sal. Don't go."
I did cry.
And he's like, "Motherfucker, don't leave us." And I was like, "I gotta go, Ryan. I gotta go do this." And like, I came out here with the same uncertainty, like. But to guarantee a success, I just knew that I wasn't going to fail. Like, if I failed in law enforcement, then I was going to have a career in diesel. Yeah. And if I failed in diesel, I was going to have a career in...
You got to have backup options always.
Like, and that's where those small little gifts that you had with mechanics and electricity and construction, just anything that you picked up along the way, that's a tool for your tool bag to say, I got this and I can do something with this as well. I mean, I honestly, I don't know about you, Ryan, but Aaron kind of gives me a little bit of a chub.
A little bit. I'm glad I'm wearing overalls today. I can't see it.
So, moving past that, after 3 years or 2 years of doing this storm chasing with these Texas guys, Eli kind of puts it in your head, like, not on purpose, but you kind of see what's going on, and you're like, fuck, I want to be a part of his life. Like, what happens after that? Like, what was the next step?
So from there, there's a company called Allo in town, right? And they do fiber optics. And I was like, okay, they title the position as lineman.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, they're at home. It's line work, let's get after it.
Sure.
So I apply, I get the job, of course. So I tell my crew, I was like, hey, dude, like, I gotta be back home, So I was like, okay. So I come home, I get a job with them. Well, the problem with this job is permits and stuff weren't ready in Havasu yet. Mm-hmm. So from there, they're like, but we need you in Nebraska. I'm like, fuck. Okay.
Here we go.
Okay, here we go. So I get this job in Nebraska, which is a lot more like on a set schedule. You're here for a week, off for 2 weeks. You know, it's set. You know where you're at. You're staying in a nice hotel that they're paying for over there. Sure. You know, so it was cool. But I ended up running a whole crew. Like we had a bunch of crews, and we were kind of teaching them how to do this stuff. Mind you, I've never put up fiber before. You know.
Yeah.
And so I learned it real quick, and so we started running crews and doing all that stuff. So I did that for a few months. It was probably about 6 months, and then they moved me over to Colorado. And they were like, okay, now you guys are going to go start up this division in Colorado. And I was like, fuck, I'm still not home, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm in Colorado running a bunch of crews. Like we have a bunch of people at that point. I'm running them, putting them in different positions, giving them foreman jobs and crews and out there climbing, still doing all this stuff, right? And then I'm like, so then they finally get the permits in Havasu and they go to pick people to come back to Havasu. Well, I wasn't on that list.
No.
They wanted me to go start up a whole nother division somewhere else. And I was like, well, okay, this isn't going to work.
Right.
So then I go, what do I do next? You know, I'm sitting in these hotels, wife's back home, Eli's home.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in this nice hotel, stuck on the road again. So I get a call from Eli's grandpa. Okay. And so he owns a big AC company in California, and we're not super close at the time. You know, we talked every once in a while. You know, it's my ex's dad, so we didn't have that connection. You know, and he goes, "How's it going on the road?" Like, well, and it's one of those nights where I've been drinking. I'm sitting there and alone in a hotel. Well, it sucks. It's cold as shit. It sucks. You know. Yeah. He's like, what are you going to do next? I was like, I was thinking about trying to get on with Edison. Mm-hmm. He's like, okay, that's cool. And I, mind you, in this meantime, I've flown down to LA, did all the Edison tests, scored super high, flew back the very next day, you know, trying to get in with Edison during this whole time. And it just didn't happen. Like they were hiring all kinds of different types of people, and I was a white male and just couldn't make it, you know?
Yeah.
And so, but scoring super high on everything, doing real good. And he's like, so what are you going to do? I was like, I'm trying to get on with Edison. He's like, and then what? Shit. Back to square one again on the road, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like, why don't you start an AC company? And I said, well, I guess I never really put too much thought into that, you know? Yeah, sure, you know?
Yeah.
And so he's like, well, why don't you come back and really think about it, you know? And mind you, he's got 35 employees. He's big time. He does huge commercial stuff. Like he's Dodger Stadium. Like he knows what he's doing, you know? I'm like, okay, if this guy sees something like, and he thinks and he's very straight, he's very blunt. He's a very blunt person.
Yeah.
Like, he will tell it how it is, and you probably won't like it, but that's just what it is. And I'm like, so the next few days I was thinking, man, if he thinks I can start an AC company, I could probably start an AC company.
Yeah.
And so I came home, and he goes, why don't you come work for me in California for a little bit? You can learn what I do over here, and then see what you do from there. And I was like, okay, because it's a different perspective from the AC company I worked for before. You know, it was just down here. It was just commercial. It was residential, just quick change outs and make your money, and that was that. You know.
Yeah.
Over there, it was a lot bigger. Like it's semi trucks of air conditioners going on buildings. Mm-hmm. So they fly in units with helicopters, you know, like it's a different ball game. And I was like, okay, let me see, you know. So I came back to town, and I was like, okay. So I worked for him down there for probably about 6 months. So I would stay here on the weekend, drive down there Sunday night. I'd go straight to LA. I'd work, come back on Friday, and I have Saturday and Sunday here. I'd leave back again. I did this for 6 months, and I'm like, shit, I'm on the road again.
Bro, I don't think we've ever been home.
And that's what it was feeling like, you know? Yeah. So then finally one day and the wife's like, what is taking you so long? Why don't you just start this? And I was like, it's not that easy. Coming up with excuse after excuse, you know, tons and tons of excuses. And then I ran out of excuses. I couldn't find any more. And I'm now people know I'm back in town. They know I'm here. They know I'm doing AC again because they're seeing my social media. And I'm turning down jobs because I'm in California. And I'm like, well, this isn't working out. I probably need to start doing these jobs if I'm going to start an AC company, you know? And so I go in the office over there and I tell him, okay, I was like, it's time. I need to be home. I need to do AC over there. And somebody in his office was like, you think it's just that easy? You're not ready, yada, yada. There's a lot more to it, which 100% she was right. There's a lot more to it, you know? But I was definitely ready. And the only way was to do it, you know?
Yeah.
And so the license and everything went through. The wife came up with a name, and I was like, that could work, you know? So then I came back. I came up with a logo. And every time I came back, I'd have Saturday where I'd do something towards the business.
Yeah.
And but I'm living in a hotel down there again. And I'm like, okay, she's right. We got to do something here, you know?
Yeah.
And so then she convinced me to just start. And I was like, okay, let's start.
Yeah.
And so my partner, the license is all in effect. He gave me all the legalities going on, because you can't just start a business. If you're trying to do it right, you don't just open the door. There's a lot more to it, and stuff that even I don't know, you know. But he's got a whole back office team, you know, and they know what the ins and outs. And at the time, I was very frustrated with it, because I was like, no, we just need to work. That's all we need to do is work. Put the time in and work. Yeah. We don't need all this other stuff. Mind you, it turned out like really good to have all that stuff, because we've grown so fast and so big. But you need all that other stuff. Like, you know, like to be legit, you need to have all that. And he set me up with all that, and he got it all going, all the back office, all that. That's the lawyer side of it, you know. And so I knew that was already in the works, you know. I came back and I said, hey, this has to be my last week. I got jobs in Arizona. And they're like, well, how many jobs you have? I was like, 2. But it'll turn into something, you know?
Yeah.
And so the lady in his office was like, well, I don't think you know what you're getting into, yada, yada. And she was right a little bit on that, you know? So I came back and I did 1 job and did 2 jobs and turned into 10 jobs. And I was like, hey, this phone is ringing.
Yeah.
Like
word of mouth, right?
And that's all it was, you know? So we didn't have the budget for marketing or anything like that, you know?
And for who doesn't know, here in like Havasu City, Arizona, like it gets to 128 degrees.
Yeah.
And AC is imperative out here.
Yeah.
Like it's a
Good Lord.
Yeah.
it's a life source.
Yeah,
Like,
you need it. It's not
it.
an option, you know?
Like my garage has AC, you know, and heat.
Yeah.
Because it's either extremely cold or it's extremely hot.
Yep. And it happens quick.
Yeah, all the time. Like my system will go down just because it's like it's been running 24/7 for 7 years straight, like nonstop.
So we came back, and so I'm sitting in the house one day. So then the phone rang a little bit. I did good, you know, and then it stopped. And I'm sitting there, and the wife's like, well, are you nervous? I'm like, no. What do you mean you're not nervous? I was like, we'll find a way.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there, and I'm just going through my phone, sending text messages and calling. Just numbers I had in my phone. Just calling, just sitting there calling. And she said, what are you doing? I was like, trying to find some work, you know?
Yeah, cold calls.
Cold calls. I'm back, you know?
Yeah.
But I couldn't go after any of my old customers from the other company.
That's right.
Because it's a very small town, you know? So, and if I did that, it would have got back 100%.
Yeah.
So mind you, let's backtrack a little bit. My first job, I thought I had set up ready to go, right? Crane guy, I had it set up with a crane. I had my unit at the parts house, had my account set up. And it's set up for a Saturday. It's a Monday. I've got everything all situated, right? I get a call Thursday from the crane guy saying, hey, I can't do your lift, but you can call this other company. They'll get you taken care of. They know who you are. Call them, and you'll get your lift taken care of. Like,
Okay.
Well, no, that's not going to work for me. You don't cancel on me. Like, what do you mean? You know? So I'm trying to figure out why, you know? And then the crane guy won't take my calls. And I'm like,
Was it no compete issues or something?
nailed it. So I called my old boss back, and I was like, hey, what the fuck happened here? You know, why did the crane guy? Because I know what happened. Yeah. He called and said, if you do a lift for him, I'm not doing any more lifts with you. I was like, that's not going to work. Mm-hmm. That's like, I left, I did it right. I came back, I'm doing it right, you know? So then I get a call from the crane guy, and he's like, hey, I'm sorry. I'm going to do that lift for you. I was like, okay. So that was like the initial, like, oh shit. Like if I don't have a crane, that's a problem, you know? Mind you, I now have my crane cert because I was doing line work operating a crane. I have a CDL.
Why do I not doubt that one?
I got people that I know that if I was like, hey, well, let's get a crane, we're going to have a crane here. I was like, I don't want to go that route. But if I need to get my own crane to start my company, we're going to get a crane, And so I was like, there's always a way. There's always a way to do this,
Yeah.
But I didn't want bad blood because it's a small town, And I was like, I'm down to prove my point, but I don't want bad blood. And so after that, like, and mind you, months later, he came and hugged me and was like, hey, man, I'm sorry about that situation. Like, you've built everything right. Like, the whole 9 yards. And that was a huge change, that was.
Yeah.
So we go from no, we get a few jobs and the phone dies. Then a cold call. And then next thing you know, we're busy. We're doing units,
Like stupid busy.
Stupid busy. And it's just me. I was alone. And
yeah, I know. I remember you used to come over for haircuts like last minute. You're like, hey, I'm in town right now. And then like he'd go over the whole fucking story with me and be like, what do you think about this? And I'm like, oh, you got to do that for sure. Like you got to do this, you got to do that.
Yeah.
And like he would just bounce these ideas off me and I'm like, oh, for sure, bro.
And
like,
then you'd see me hit him and I do it.
Dude,
I'm like, yeah, that worked.
He would hit his mark every fucking time, dude.
But I was putting the ACs in. And mind you, I'm a little guy. I'm not that big, And I'm putting ACs in alone because there's no other way. And then I'm running calls at midnight, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning.
Like you call Aaron and it's not even like people will call me up and be like, hey Sal, I need an AC guy. And I'm like, bro, it's like midnight. Like I know one guy that'll fucking answer the fucking phone right now. And sure enough, that's Aaron, like the drop of a dime. He's just like, hey, I'm going to go knock this out real fast, but you knock it out quick. You know?
Yeah. It's not, especially like I come from a car background, so I can hear and I kind of know what it's doing, like a car. So an AC, I can look at it and I'm like, okay, this is this year, this is that. I know what parts are in that unit. I'll grab them. I'll go up on the roof, and that's pretty much 9 times out of 10. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So it cuts my time in half. Yeah. But it's super fun. I mean.
Yeah, and he's just being modest right now. Like he's grown something here, Ryan, that is like the rate that it grew is just it's unprecedented. Like it's just. I am so fucking proud of you for taking that giant leap. And I remember you sitting here talking about your plans and telling me about what you thought. And I was just like, fucking just go do it, dude. Like just knock it out. And like rarely do you ever see that. Like people talk a big game
and actually
follow through with it. Like,
I was in that same boat. Like, I mean, I've done tons of different moves and careers and this and that, big steps. But starting the company was like a big one that I was like,
sure,
I'm going to do it. And then finally, it took the wife actually saying, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shit, what am I doing?
But your worth ethic has shown other people that they can invest in you.
Oh, 100%.
And invest in reaching out and giving that olive branch and saying, hey, do this.
Yeah.
Here, hey, you need help getting started? I got you. Like, you're almost like a guaranteed bet.
Yeah, they know they'll win.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, from what I hear, it's like, the community of people that you've worked for and that worked alongside of you are like willing to go up to bat for you and say, fuck, here's a leg up on this.
Definitely. Yeah.
So like one thing I take away from that is like, don't ever burn a fucking bridge.
No.
Cause you never know when you're going to have to reach back and hopefully, rely on somebody else, And I think you're really humble like that too. Like you don't just take people's like education from them and say, well, fuck you then. And just totally like give them a backhand, but like you're like, sure, like you need help, I'll show you how to do it too.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
and you have such a fucking positive attitude that it's breathtaking, man. It's like I don't even know you until this podcast, and I'm super proud of you.
Thank you, man.
Absolutely.
You have to though. You have to like. I remember when we were doing like when I'd get a job and it'd be like 3 AC. Like when I was with another company, we'd put 3 ACs on a house. And I was like, yeah, we're doing stuff, Yeah. And now we get semi trucks, 50-foot semi truck dropping off 75 air conditioners for one job. I'm like, that's.
Yeah. And it's not like when he sets these things up, Ryan, it's not like you would just see like some rinky dink like setup where he's like, all right, we got to do 48 of these storage units and they all need AC. Like you look at it and it looks like he set it up on a graph on the piece of paper and made a 3D rendering, and then every unit is within inches of where he planned it to be, like, and it looks so pristine. It looks like a model that you would set up to sell because everything is just on point, and his OCD, like he invests that into his work, and then you look at it and you're like, fuck man, like I can't.
But all my crew and my guys are the same way now, you know. So it's not just me out there doing the work.
But you instilled that.
I instilled that in them, and now they know that if we don't do it this way, he's gonna come rip it. And I'm the kind of guy, like, I don't care if I'm losing money on it. If it looks like crap and I lose money because I have to redo it, so be it. I rather that, because you have one bad thing out there and other people see that, you're losing money for sure. You know,
you won't repeat customers. Yeah.
100%. You know, so if it takes a little bit of a loss to make it right,
I remember you were telling me that you were building. It was like in some restaurant or something like that, and like there was a big ass fan like right above like the air duct, and you're like, we have to reroute where this is going to be, and then the guy's like, well, reroute the fan then, and like you're like, fuck it, like we'll just move the whole fucking fan. Like,
but that's you have to find ways around stuff in this industry, you know. Like you have to be open. You can't just shut stuff down, you know. And that's what kind of sets us apart, is like there's no such thing as no or it can't be done. You know, everything's possible. Absolutely. It just takes a little more work. A little more
So
work.
are you doing more commercial stuff than residential, or
both?
I'm pretty equal on both.
Okay.
That was my wife's dad kind of opened the door on that. Mind you, my father-in-law, he does a ton of commercial over there. That's his big thing. But over here, he told me, he said, the only way to stay busy year-round is to have a commercial side and a residential side. And I was like, well, that don't make sense. But then you start looking at everyone else, and when people start dying out of work, there's only a few companies that are busy because they got both sides of the world, you know. Commercial, no matter what, it's going. You got to have it. It's moving, you know. Residential, they could shut their stuff down when it's nice out. And so when I took that advice, and I was like, okay, I could build off of that. And so then we built our commercial side up, and got an opportunity into starting with this other company that we're working with. And which that kind of worked out pretty funny, but that's what blew us up. It was really one contractor. He gave me an opportunity, and that's what made us hit our next step in the commercial.
So aside from word of mouth and getting into that industry, like how else did you grow? Did you tap into social media, marketing? Like,
yeah, so my wife actually was like, mind you, back then my Instagram, I had like 3 pictures on it, you know. I was like, this is stupid. And she was like, you need to get into Instagram. And I was like, no, that's dumb. I'm not doing that. I'm a contractor. I'm blue collar, you know. I wear boots. I'm not doing no Instagram videos. So then finally I do one video, right? And it takes off, and I get like 2 sales out of it. And I'm like, damn, it worked, you know? So it worked. So now I started doing reels and this and that. And then I'm like, okay, so then I do this big job where we put 55 units on a roof, and it looked real bitchin', right? But I couldn't get a picture of it. So I hired a film guy to come fly a drone out, right? And it was expensive. And I'm like, dude, this is crazy. And it wasn't what I wanted, you know, but it's what I hired. So he made this video. And so then like 2 weeks later, I went and bought a drone. I was like, I could do this. I could fly a drone.
Hell yeah.
So then I started flying this drone and editing these videos and everything. And they actually turned out pretty decent, you know?
They turned out great,
They're
honestly.
pretty cool, you know? So I do all the social media and all that, and it's worked out, you know?
Yeah.
And nobody can capture what I want to capture, you know? Like nobody knows what I'm trying to nail, you know?
Right.
You know why I think social media is such a hit in marketing these days? I think it has a lot to do with nobody fucking talks to anyone anymore, right? So like if you meet somebody just casually out in the world, nobody sits and has a conversation anymore. Like I know a lot of people that have lived in certain places for 10 years, they still have never met their neighbors. Yep. But people don't, but they do surf on their phones and their devices all the time. So I think that's why social media and marketing go hand in hand, especially in today's generation. But
we don't do any advertisement out here anymore. We have this one ad in this magazine that gets mailed.
What is it, Living?
the shopper.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I had 2 of them in there, and it did nothing for me. So I canceled one of them, and then I kept the other one in there because everybody else has one. And I'm like, now I just told our account lady, I was like, hey, cancel that ad. Like I'm done with that.
Yeah.
Like we don't get anything out of that. We've built our business off word of mouth and social media, and that's where everything falls back to. This is where the work is coming from, you know.
So going back to your employees, you made mention that it's not just you, it's also your employees. Like, how do you find the right employees? And are there red flags that stand out when you're hiring them?
Definitely. I have one guy that I worked with him back in the day. And when I started this, I wanted him. I said, hey, I called him up. I was like, hey, I'm starting an AC company. Come work for me, you know?
Yeah.
And it's one guy I ever tried to poach, ever tried to get. And he said, oh, that's cool. Let me see what you do, you know? Like, how do you turn out?
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean you don't want to work for me, you know? And so then I worked this for a year. I hired one kid that he was super hungry. He was doing electrical work, and then he was like, hey, I want to work for you. And he kept coming up to me. I want to work for you. I want to work for you. So I hired him. I was like, dude, I don't know. Do I need an employee, you know? I'm working stupid hours. Like, it was dumb hours. And so I hired him on, and I was like, okay, I got an employee now. This is weird, you know? But mind you, it wasn't the guy I wanted, you know? He's doing it, you know? He's learning. I'm teaching him.
Sure.
But I have to be everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
So then from there, I kind of locked myself into this really big project, you know? It's we were putting a ton of mini splits on a storage unit, and I asked the guy for the opportunity to bid it, and he was like, yeah, go ahead. And I was like, really? Like, I didn't think we'd actually get in that, you know? and so
You're all, oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's like that thing on Instagram where they send you like when you bid a job and then you actually get it.
Yeah.
You know?
You're smoking a cigarette, you're like...
And I'm like, shoot, we can do this, you know? Like, this will work. And so he gave me an opportunity into that. So we're going, right? So the guy that I actually wanted to hire, and he said, let me see what you do, you know? He was working for another company, and then another guy was there at that company. Well, they didn't have any work, you know, and here I am,
loaded
slammed,
up,
you know, doing all kinds of work. And I post on Instagram what I'm doing so people can see that I'm actually busy, you know. And so he's seen me busy, and so he didn't have any work, and he was like, hey, do you guys have anything I can do? Like, and I'm like, yes, I just landed this project. It just kind of all worked out.
Yeah.
And so he was working this night shift. So we put spotlights up on this roof, and we're out there doing these mini splits so that way his company doesn't find out that he's working for me. Well, they end up finding out, you know, so that opened a can of worms, you know, and so they ended up, that turned into a few other things. And mind you, I'm still going. I'm working probably 19, 20 hours a day at this, trying to get all these mini splits up because it's me, myself, and one guy that I have to teach.
Yeah.
So I'm working during the day. I'm working at night. The wife's bringing me food. Like I'm
hustling.
But I'm getting it done. You know, it's working. And so that gets going, and then I finish that project, and then my buddy, who he now works for me, so he calls me up. He's like, "Hey, they let me go." I was like, no, they didn't. He's like, well, they let me go. They tried to hire me back, but I told them no.
Yeah.
And that's the story is super funny. But so that ends up happening. And he's like, do you still have a truck for me?
Yeah.
Yes. What do you want? You know,
Yeah.
What do you want? So he's like my right hand guy now, you know, and he's super smart. Like we call him PDF because he knows everything about everything, you know? And so that's like my really good guy. And then we kind of base it off of how he wants to run the service side because he's very meticulous.
Yeah.
And so we've kind of built our crew around me and him and how we operate. And it's really hard to wean certain people, but then there's other people that, you know, it's not going to work. You're not going to jive. You're not working to our work ethic, you know?
Sure.
And then we bring guys on and they're like, oh my God, like the way you guys work, like you guys aren't off yet? No, we got like 4 more hours in the day.
Yeah, we got work to do.
So,
Work till the job's done.
Yeah. Really, that's what it is because
but the pay is there.
And that's the difference, though. We pay really good, you
Yeah.
know? And so we just hired another guy on from another company, and he's like, I'm making X amount of money, some crazy number. I was like, okay, but do you have work? He's like, no, I've been sitting at home for 2 months. Okay, so now I'm going to pay you really good, and
Yeah.
you're going to get actual hours,
Yeah.
and you got year-round work because we're doing it honest and we're doing it right. And
Right.
This is how it goes, you know?
But I think that screams Aaron right there in your worth ethic, because you've been at the bottom before, making like an okay wage,
Yeah.
but putting in the hard work and that meticulous work, and then saying like, man, I need to step up my game so I can make the money count. You know, I got to make my hard work count for this money and get back what I'm putting in. But as a leader, as a business owner, and as a boss, you also took that lesson and said, you know what? I want to give to my subordinates what they deserve, what I never had, what I wish I would have had
100%.
coming up.
100%.
It's like happy workers working a lot harder. And then giving them that expectation and saying, hey, like we work our tails off and we don't go home until the job's done, but trust me, the money is going to suffice.
You don't have to worry about that end, you know, and that's huge in our industry, especially out here. It's seasonal.
Yeah.
Like if the way most companies are built, it's seasonal work and wintertime, and it sucks because that's when the holidays come and you got to provide for your kids.
Yeah.
And you don't have work. Like you boom during summer, and if you could stack that and put it away, you're okay. But it runs out right around that Christmas time, you know?
Yeah.
Where us, it's like, no, we're still working 50 hours a week, you know? Like, because we've structured it that way and we have the reputation and we're getting after it, you know?
Absolutely.
So it's been awesome.
So like here in Tennessee, like especially in Clarksville area, like even when I was retiring out of the military, they had programs for people to get into HVAC and go get their certifications and stuff. But even the guys I've talked to that went and pursued that route because they went to work for companies like Hiller, some larger companies in the area, they don't get a lot of the work because they have so many employees. They have to spread the jobs out over so many different technicians, so they don't make a huge amount of money like they were promised. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yep. So that's a big thing out here too, because private equity is buying out a lot of companies. You know, so a lot of the AC companies in town, the smaller guys, they've gotten bought out. And so what happens with that is, on paper, you make crazy amounts of money on what they promise you, but then they're hiring everyone and there's no work for them, or they're coming in with prices and ticking the people off, and Havasu's it's an interesting world out here, you know, like it's not like California. You can't come in and say this and that and sell them a crazy expensive unit, and it's not going to work out. There's word of mouth and everybody talks about everything, you know? And so these bigger companies there's one that just folded because of that. So they came in, bought out another company. It was super successful for years. I had a lot of respect for that guy. And then this company came in, bought them out, and in 2 years they lost the company. And it's because they try to run it like a big private equity company that owns other companies elsewhere, and that works elsewhere. It doesn't work in this town. You have to be honest. You have to be loyal. You have to have that small town mannerisms, or else you're going to get burned. You can't lie to people. You can't cheat. You can't sell them something they don't need, because there's somebody else that will figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
And that's a big problem.
So summertime is your boom. Like, do you guys even run heat in the wintertime?
Yeah.
It's
cold right now.
I'm running the heat inside here.
Yeah.
What's the temperature outside? Like 65, Sal?
It's freezing, man. It's
50,
so cold.
It's 55 degrees outside right now.
Yeah.
You got to think that we're adjusted to 120.
Yeah. So
That's
right
funny.
now, 55, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm in a flannel in the desert, Ryan.
I was at soccer the other night with my son, and it was 8:30 at night. I'm sitting there shaking. Like, I'm like, what is wrong right now?
I know, right?
Like, this
and
is
it's
not
like probably
okay.
like 76 out. And I'm like, but dude, here it's so crazy because it'll go from 110, 115 degrees like all summer long. And then we'll get our spikes up to like 120, 125, 128.
130 for
130,
a week.
dude.
For a week,
like,
yeah.
And then they're like, the news is a fucking liar because
it's
they're
not
like,
accurate.
They're not accurate. They're like, oh, it's only going to be 123, and then all of a sudden you're like, it's 130. What the
Yeah.
fuck? Where's your fucking barometer at? Like,
It's a resort town, so they don't want people to know the actual temperature.
Yeah.
Ah,
You
And it's
know,
hot,
so-
dude. So you're sitting there, and then all of a sudden, winter comes, right? Like October 31st, you're sweating in your makeup for Halloween, and then the very next day, it's all
Yep.
like down to the 70s, and you're like, oh,
65 at night.
and like
there's
my
not a
AC,
sweatshirt left in Walmart.
AC goes from cold to hot.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there at like 76 degrees inside the house, and I'm like, oh my God, it's fucking cold in here. Where, mind you, at 76 in the winter or in the summertime, I was just like, oh, it's fucking nice. It's
This
nice.
is great. This is great. Yeah.
It's so fucking weird.
It's a weird deal.
Yeah, so he's constantly, I can only imagine, like he's constantly fucking busy out here. And because it's such a harsh climate, like there's always going to be work.
Oh, there's always work. Yeah.
Like those units, I mean, like, I'm sorry, like they're promised for 15 years, but like you're lucky if you get 8 or 9.
Yeah, that's what you definitely.
Yeah. Fucking crazy.
And then Freon changes and all that crazy stuff, and it's
He has some wild stories though. Sometimes Aaron is very modest, but like there's been times where like a little old lady, and he'll tell me these stories. And I'm like, hey buddy, what? Because I needed his property, right, for a dog training scenario. Because like he has this wild property in the middle of like the desert out here. And I was like, it's undisclosed. And I was like, hey, buddy, can I use your fenced yard so I can do bite work? And this is like a year ago. And he's like, yeah, sure. I'm just going to, the gate should be open. The keys are here or whatever. Like, I can drop them off to you and stuff. And like, just use it and whatever you want to do. And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I just changed this little old lady's AC, but she didn't have the money to do it, but she had a boat there. So, and he's like, I ended up picking up the boat on a trade. And like, I mean, this lady doesn't have the money to invest in a lifeline. And Aaron's not the type of person to say, well, fuck, like, sorry, you're shit out of luck. Like, he's like, no, let's figure out how to make this work. And
well,
like,
it's not about the money. You know, if you built a business about the money, you're gonna be like all the other ones that don't have it. You know, like
collapse.
It's going to collapse. It's going to fall. You know, you got to build it on morals, definitely.
Yeah. And he's done that on multiple occasions where people like, I know some people are like, hey, change my unit. And you're like, there's nothing wrong with your unit.
Yeah.
And they're like, change my unit. And like, no, there's nothing wrong with your unit. Yeah. Like, I'm telling you. And then the lady ends up like still wanting it, and you still do it. But like against like your advice to her, she's like, still do it. Do it. But he'll try to talk people out of business too at the same time. And I love that about you. Yeah. Where it's like,
I respect that. Yeah.
There's good businesses here in town that do that. Like I went in for some new tires, and what is it? The Tire Man?
Yep.
They were like, hey, I was like, hey bro, these things are cracking. And he's like, bro, those things are always, it's the desert. They're always going to crack.
Same thing with the wife's car. She has a Tesla and it had a little chunk out of the side. I'm like, dude, there's a chunk out of the tire. I need a new tire, and they're run flats.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't need a tire. It's great. I'm like, no.
And then like I'm sitting there, and he's like, bro, I'm going to take $2,800 away from you right now for no fucking reason.
Yeah. Same thing you did with me.
Yeah. And he's like, just run them. Like I'm going to give you a good deal whenever they pop, but they're not going to pop. Like just run them. Like you have more than like.
But look how busy he is.
Oh, dude, fantastic.
Always busy, you know?
Yeah. Tire Man, shout out to you. Thank you so much. I love my rubber.
He does all our fleet. Yeah. Does all our trucks, all our trailers. All our trucks
He's
and trailers.
not even here and we're plugging them. But that's that small town mentality that we have out here. It's like everybody watches out for everybody. And then even law enforcement too. Like people will call me all the time and be like, hey, what do you think about this? And I'm like, I can't give you legal advice.
Yeah.
And I'm not supposed to, but you might want to call a lawyer on this or whatever. Like that's how we are here. Like we're just here to help.
Yeah.
And I think that's what gravitates me to Aaron, and that's why I keep him around. Not just because I need to be cold or hot, but but because
everybody needs an AC guy in their pocket.
But because I can count on him, like to be there, you know. And same thing with his prior boss too. Like we're still really good friends, him and I. Like I see him every day at the gym, and like people are like, I'll hit him up and be like, hey, can you do this job? And he's like, oh, I'm kind of stacked right now. And then I'm like, all right, I know somebody else then. And like, it just goes back and forth where I'm like, hey, Aaron, are you busy right now? Or something like that. And he's like, yeah, I'm kind of tied up. And then I'm like, all right, I'll give him but like, it's like a family in this town. Like, and if you don't treat it like that, it's going to fucking turn on you.
It'll bite you real quick.
It's amazing. Amazing. Ryan, I know we had some questions up here, but Aaron, real fast, so like what mistakes did you make as a business owner, and like what did you learn from those mistakes when you started your business?
I think the biggest mistake is like it comes down to the money, you know?
Yeah.
Like you got a lot of money coming in,
Mm-hmm.
but you do these jobs, a lot of money comes in, right? Well, you got to be very smart with that money. And in the beginning, I was like, let's do this advertisement. Let's do that. Let's do this, when none of those are what's going to pay, but I started swinging. I threw all these advertisements out there, tons of money in advertisement, got nothing out of it. Not a single phone call, And
So
and
where
so I'm
where
like,
were they going? Like on TV commercials? Like what are we
no,
talking
so
here?
I did like big pages in these magazines, these shopper ads and stuff. I did magazines in that. I did full wraps on vehicles, and at the time the money wasn't there, but I
Yeah.
wanted to look like these other companies, and so I seen money in the bank account. I was like, let's go, we're good. Well, then you start as the business starts, that's fine when you're doing 1 or 2 air conditioning, but then when you start leveling up and you got 10 jobs going, then you got big commercial jobs all of a sudden, and you're doing 10 ACs on that, and then you got $250,000 out on another job, You can't just throw money around. You got to know it's out for a while and then it comes back in,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that was a big thing on just watching it and knowing how to work it.
And then owning what you're selling too, right? Like
Yeah.
having the money to buy those
To
units.
buy it and be able to front the
So you're
product,
not,
front
so
the
you're not
labor.
robbing, so you're not robbing Peter to
Yep.
pay Paul.
Yep.
Like, and you're doing it. And that, I think a lot of business owners do that out here.
That's a very well. What happens is you start a business, you all of a sudden start making money, right? You see it in a bank account. It's not your money; it's business money. It buys equipment, but you see money, and then you go buy a boat,
Big ass boat.
and then you go buy a razor, and then you go buy a house,
Yeah.
and then you got to buy a truck.
Yeah.
And everybody's in the rat race of looking good,
Yeah.
And so I've luckily gone backwards, like I got a melon hat, but I work on the guy's house. He gives me hat, like my Calvin Klein pants, Ross, I shop at Ross. I love Ross. My
No.
jacket, Ross,
Super humble.
You
Like,
got to be like that,
and, like I'm sitting here watching his empire grow, and I'm like, where, like I passed by through, like, and I'm no disrespect to the street that you lived on, but he's like, hey bro, are you on this street right now? And I'm like, yeah, I just passed by there right now. And he's like, oh, you just passed by my house? And I'm like, bro, you live here? And he's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, damn, bro, like you were literally forking all that stuff back into your business, but that's what it takes.
Yeah, but that's how you build it,
Yeah.
That's what it takes.
And you own what you're gonna sell outright, and you put it back, and then that's profit. But you don't roll that profit back into your pocket. You roll it back into the business.
You expect to get another really big job, and that's your goal. Your goal is to keep growing and be able to front that and
Right.
keep going and going and going.
Yeah.
So do you keep inventory in stock, like full units or parts, or you have a whole warehouse of inventory, or do you have to order that stuff per job?
We basically order it per job. Right now we had a company that went out and we bought out all their stock, and that was a big company that stocked everything. But you don't need to, if you structure it right, you don't need to buy it. You don't need to stock stuff.
It comes in pretty quick.
It comes in pretty quick, and I've structured everything so it's there for me when I need it, and I've let them know, like, I'm super loyal, but it needs to be there when I need it. I don't wait the 2 days to come into town. Like, it's got to be there.
Bro, like my buddy, was it Rich, was like, hey, I got an AC problem. And then Aaron, it was like late night or something like that. And I was like, oh, my buddy Aaron will fix you up right now. And like, you went over there and knocked out the job, and you're like, hey, you're running on 2, you only need to be running on 1, and I'm gonna patch this up for you right now. You're gonna have AC at night, and then tomorrow morning or whatever, I'm gonna drop it. And like, Aaron will install it without ever going inside the house. Like, just crane shows up, and then all of a sudden their AC is just blasting again. They're like, when the fuck did you guys get here? It's like, oh, we're already done. Like, we're already done. And it was the same thing with your previous boss. I remember when you guys showed up, and I'm like, all right, I'm just like inside the house, like waiting, and then all of a sudden I hear like, and I see this big ass fucking crane in the street. And I'm like, God damn, like, you guys gonna knock on my door and let me know you started? Like, no, they're fucking hardcore.
Smooth.
They're smooth
Fast and
operators.
smooth, yep.
Yeah, smooth operators out here, and they're fucking working.
You got to think that we're doing so many.
Yeah.
That we got it down.
Yeah.
And but we're a little weird when we do our stuff. Like we tape our lines and seal it.
Yeah.
We put clamps every so inches. Like, I'm very, like, my guys are meticulous. Like,
That's awesome.
But that's what separates you. There's one other company in town here that does stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I see you. You're doing good.
Hey.
That's how it is. That's how you should do it.
Competition breeds excellence, though, right?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
That's fucking awesome.
Yep.
Ryan,
Yeah, I'm trying to look through some of these questions, man, but a lot of these we've already hit.
you hit them pretty good.
Yeah.
So okay, so the business is booming, right? And now your old lady, she's a real estate agent here in town, right?
She's a real estate agent and a mom.
So you and a mom.
We got a
they just
6-month-old.
They just had a
Oh,
baby.
congrats.
Thank
Yeah.
you, thank you.
Boy or girl.
Boy,
Damn, you can't miss, huh?
no.
What's your boy's name?
Liam.
Liam.
Liam Enzo Lucero.
Oh man.
Oh, that's an awesome name.
Yeah, I went to the
Sounds
Enzo for a
fancy.
reason.
Yeah, Ferrari.
Yeah, you set goals, man.
You're like you have a premium name. You have a lot to live up to. That's so cool. So do you see this empire that you're building to pass it on to your children, or do you want to support them in their endeavors? Like, what is your oldest right now like?
It's a tricky one. I mean, at the end of the day, yes, I would love to pass it on,
Yeah.
And there's another real big company in town that a brother and a sister run it.
Mm-hmm.
They've sold out and gone a different route,
Yeah.
but I would love to have both of them running it. That'd
That'd be awesome, huh?
be awesome to see that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like if they want to do something else, I'd support it.
Yeah.
You can't really push them to.
And Chloe is a hard worker as
Oh.
well. I mean, like they're burning the candle on both ends.
Yeah,
For sure.
But
So do you have any what's next plans or anything?
Any what?
Do you have any like what's next plans or anything? Like,
Man, it's
Buying big boats.
that. Hey, I had to buy that one.
I know, man. Big ass American flag on the side of this thing.
no,
so
they have ACs on yachts. I'm just saying.
Oh, he does them too.
I have AC in my boat.
I remember one day he's like, "Hey, bro, I'm on your county boat right now," and I'm like, "What? What are you doing on there?" I was like, "You got a DUI?" And he's like, "No, I'm installing the AC unit on it."
Yeah.
Like, man, there is no limit to your madness.
Well, that's how you make it, though. You never say no, and you find a way.
Yeah.
Like you find a way. Yeah. It's a tough one to like my what's next because I'm like, I had a 5-year goal to get into commercial. That was my 5 year. In 5 years, I wanted to start doing commercial, and now we're getting semi trucks of commercial units. So
Yeah.
it's like, what's next? Like, shoot, sky's the limit.
Yeah. You got to get it into reefer units, roadside for those fucking truckers on the side of the road. See, look at this. I'm always plugging you on shit to do.
Here we
dude.
go.
Thermo Kings, baby,
Here
and
we
Carrier.
go.
Oh, we're gonna plug you. We're gonna share your Instagram.
That's right.
and all
It's,
that stuff on there.
The business is called Hot Solutions,
Hot Solutions HVAC. Yep.
and they're located here in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. How far do you guys stretch out?
As far as the calls go.
Hell yeah. So
we try to stay like Kingman, Bullhead, but we were just in what's that place? Williams.
Williams?
We're in Williams, changing
Yavapai?
some units out over there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, we'll
Or was
go
it
up there.
Coconino? Coconino?
Well, no, it's actually Williams. But the thing about it is, like, a lot of people from here are buying houses up there.
Yeah.
And so they're like, hey, you've done all our work here. We want you to go over there. Okay.
That's
Like,
fantastic.
my trucks work. We'll get up there.
Yeah. So how many are in your fleet now?
We have 5 trucks running around now.
Man,
Yeah.
5 trucks in 3
In
years.
2.5 years. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you hit your mark prior. So you had a 5-year plan to get into commercial.
Yeah.
And then-
now we're
2.5.
with employees. It's weird.
How many employees do you have now?
We're up to 5.
Okay.
5. Yep.
5 real workers then.
5 real hard workers. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, and then me, I'm everywhere. I do it all.
Yeah.
He's making
We gotta do
Instagram
that.
reels and stuff now.
you got to be able to get out there and like the other day we were running a 16-inch duct through an attic, and our attics here are not fun, And one of my guys was there, and he's like, I got a bum knee. I messed my knee up, tore my meniscus, and I was like, it's fine. I'll fix it later. I'll get the surgery later, And so I was like, I'll crawl the duct. And he's like, no, I'll do it. I was like, I'm going to crawl this duct through this attic, and you're going to meet me at the other end, and you're going to catch it.
Yeah.
But you have to do that, because you don't go on any jobs where the owner's out there doing the shitty stuff still, And I don't have to.
Yeah.
I don't 100%. I could sit in an office and be comfy and go tell them what to do, but they're not going to respect you if you do that.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to, whatever you're going to do, whatever you ask them to do, you got to know that you can still do that.
Mhm.
So I think that's a big thing.
So, I've never been to Arizona. Like, we have most of our homes here in Tennessee. They have like the
You got
you
an
gotta
air cooler in
the
the
crawl
closet or
space.
something?
You know what I mean? But crawl spaces underneath the houses. Do you guys have more slabbed houses there where everything's sitting on a concrete slab?
Yep.
Yeah.
Everything's on a slab.
No.
And
Yes.
then you got either the unit up on the roof or in an attic.
Mm.
Because the guys that built it didn't like us. They didn't like the AC guys. That's why they did that.
Do you ever work with any of the developers or builders when they're like building these new home developments and stuff?
Yeah,
They ever contract you to put in?
Yeah, we do a lot of that stuff. We do a lot
Oh, that's
of that.
cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's just another thing. Like with the other company I was with, we never did new construction. Like
Yeah.
we never did it. But you need that. You need to be well rounded on everything. You know.
Especially with your wife being in the real estate market, sounds like probably an easy niche to get into for you.
That's a huge plug for sure. You know. And she's on the #1 team in Arizona. So, and they're killing it. You know. And so we have the whole real estate team where we're doing all their inspections and all that stuff. So it's just guaranteed, you know.
Yeah, they're a power team, dude, and she's a looker too. Like if you don't mind me saying, like
I appreciate
she's
that,
a
yeah.
very
Definitely.
classy,
Yes.
very classy, very
Yes,
pretty
she's
lady.
beautiful.
And then they
I don't know what she's doing with me, but I got her.
it's the hard work, bro. She's like, I got this motherfucker that's
She's
willing
like,
to work.
he's gonna make it one day.
Fuck yeah.
One day he'll make it.
That's fucking awesome, man. Like you need that support though, like somebody that's gonna say like, yeah, swing for the fences.
Yeah, she'll be over there rocking Liam on the phone selling $1 million house. So I'm like, what are you doing with her computer out?
Yeah, it's so crazy.
That's how it's supposed to be, bro. Like,
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, Ryan, I think that just sums it up for me on any kind of questions. I know Aaron probably could talk forever
Yeah.
on the subject of his fucking life. Absolutely crazy. I feel like a fucking chump next to Aaron now because I
I'll get out of here with what you've done. Shoot.
no, man.
You've
No,
done
you're a
what you
crazy
did,
humble
I did
person,
what I
and
did.
I super respect you, man. Like it's been a pleasure to have you on. We hope to have you on again. And
Yeah, absolutely. I want to see what's coming
We'll see a
next.
few years. See what changed.
I know. He's got something up his sleeve, dude. He's always got something. He's always scheming something up.
so if that's it, then I will close us out and then we will end the recording. But thanks again for everybody watching. We were here with Aaron Lucero and Sal. We appreciate you tuning in. And again, if you like the content, please like and subscribe. We appreciate that to help grow the channel. And I will kill it here. We love you, fam.